So, welcome to this week's meditation. I tell you, I'm just changing my microphone to standard just for the beginning, so you can hear the sounds from my space and the bell. So today we're going to be doing a meditation for spring cleaning our mind. So we're coming to the end of this wintering season. And the days are getting lighter, and we can see the obvious changes within the day in terms of the nature around us, the longer days, the more light, and yeah, spring is here now. There's no escaping it. We can also feel quite depleted at this time of year. In nature, we would be getting to the end of our stores from the dormancy hibernation period, and it's time now to be getting out there and rebuilding our strength and our energy and our stocks. This can often be a time of year where coughs and colds are quite prevalent, so if you are experiencing any issues around the breath, or coughing or sneezing, weaving that into the meditation and taking care of yourself. It's also can be beginning of allergy season, so as best you can, taking care of your physical needs at this time of year, and being kind to yourself about it. It can be in the meditation. It's not necessarily something to beat yourself up about or whatever. Hopefully within these practices you are learning to take great care of yourself. So this time of year we do feel this kind of sense of needing to clean, to open up the windows, to clear our spaces, and so today we're going to be doing a meditation to spring clean our minds. Again, taking great care of yourself within the practice, remembering to follow my instructions only if they feel right for you. You are the expert in you, and it's really important that you listen to that. And that's what one of the great things about mindfulness is that we're learning to listen and pay attention to our bodies. So taking a moment to settle and arrive. So the invitation is to take a few deep in breaths through the nose and out through the mouth. And taking some deliberate, longer exhalations. And whilst you're doing this, an invitation to check in with your posture. Elongate your spine. Gently tuck your chin, which elongates the back of your neck. Drop your shoulders. Let go of any tension or tightening in the face. If you find it helpful, you can use your hands and fingers to smooth your brow, massage your cheeks and your jaw, the neck and the shoulders. Checking in with yourself. This gentle touch can be very helpful for the body as that gentle reminder to release and relax and let go. It doesn't even notice that it's holding tension because it's such a habitual movement. And if you can, bringing a light smile to your face, just lifting up the corners of your mouth. These small gestures that we can make a big difference to our mental well-being, because these muscles communicate with that jelly-like fatty substance called our brain, communicating that we're safe and that we're well. We don't need to hunch, we don't need to protect ourselves just for the space of this session. But we can notice if we do, and we can correct it. And then returning your breath to its natural rhythm. A slow, comfortable, relaxed breath. Slow, deep breaths. And then an invitation to expand your awareness of the breath to include all of your body. And an invitation to scan your body in your own time. From your head down to your toes. Checking each nook and cranny. Being interested and curious. Just noticing any sensations. And as we're focusing on spring cleaning, it could almost be like you're dusting with a feather duster, or hoovering or sweeping, polishing. Sweeping away the cobwebs and the dust. Exploring your body. Perhaps letting go of any tightening or tension that you may find along the way. And an invitation to find your anchor for today's practice. So it could be part of the breath, or it could be a neutral part of the body, but just somewhere where, when your mind has wandered, that you can bring yourself back here. Somewhere neutral without a juicy story. It could be the back of your throat, where the breath hits it. Could be the heel of your foot, your heel of your right foot. Returning your awareness back to the breath and expanding that attention to the body. We're going to just gently warm up and bring our awareness to our experience of sounds. So sounds as sounds. Noticing where you feel them in the body, where you experience them, the tendency to label, which is pleasant or unpleasant. how your mind can create stories and fill in the gaps. Sounds from your space, maybe your body, the sounds from outside, and your body experience of sound. And now an invitation to bring your awareness to your experience of your thoughts. So almost like watching the adverts before a film, these things that pop in, pop out, some stay, some are intense, and some less so. Observing our thoughts as the mental events that they are, that they're not ours, we are not our thoughts. And paying close attention to what's here. Are there any old ideas, beliefs, patterns that maybe feel stagnant? Not changing anything, but simply noticing. Are there any habits or tendencies that you tend to go to? Maybe things that you forgot to do, or conversations, frustrations. And if that feel familiar, but perhaps unhelpful. And again, we're not here to change anything, we're noticing. And it's simply by noticing and observing our habits and tendencies, it invites change. Because you are not your thoughts, they're mental events, products of our genes, our upbringing, our environments, the people that we spend time with. the things we spend time doing. Noticing. How is this serving you? Is it kind? Is it useful? Does it need to be useful? Being an impartial witness to yourself with kindness and curiosity, and as if you were spring cleaning a room and examining the objects, and whether you needed them, whether they brought you joy, whether they were helpful, whether you might need them for later, whether you can let them go. Observing your thoughts, as mental events that pop in, and taking the time to observe and examine them as an impartial witness. Being interested and curious in you, how incredible it is that you're even here, millions of years. Thousands of ancestors who fought and struggled, survived. And here we are, sitting in quiet, observing what it is to be alive, sitting here in this present moment, observing our thoughts as thoughts, and letting go, moving on. It's taking this precious time to sit with ourselves and observe our habits and tendencies of where we go, what to, who with, in these quiet moments. Maybe examining these thoughts one by one or all together. What was their original purpose? Do they have a reason to still be here? Do they protect you, comfort you, reassure you? Or are they unhelpful, unnecessary, clutter? Can you let them go? Let them dissolve, pass by, move on. These thoughts, these mental events, these moments that make up most of our day. Observations, reflections. How are you taking care of yourself? When the mind wanders, gets lost in those stories, knowing that you have that anchor to bring yourself to at any moment, that the breath and body are always there to anchor you in the present moment. As we sit and observe our habits and tendencies, observing our thoughts, taking a bit of an inventory, observing what's useful and what no longer serves us. Through simply noticing where we go, this present moment, being impartial witnesses to our experiences with kindness and curiosity. Giving yourself space to observe where you go in the quiet moments. And do you like the company you keep here? And if unhelpful thoughts arise, allow them to dissolve like fog. And then maybe thoughts pop in that are unpleasant, but they're helpful. Exploring what that is. Where do you sense it in the body? What is there to take from it? And what is there to let go of? Meeting yourself as you are with kindness and curiosity, observing where your mind goes, dropping into the felt sense of it within the body. Letting go of what's not useful anymore. Allowing more space for what is. You can, if you find it helpful, you can thank these habits, these thoughts, these tendencies for what they've brought you, and show them out. Once you've perhaps got a sense of having cleared some space, the things that no longer need to occupy your attention, your mind. Let's spend some time in the space that we've created. It may only be a tiny bit. You've opened up some space in your mind. Your internal world, your story, the potential, the spaciousness to stretch, grow. Does it feel light, heavy, daunting, pleasant? The potential of spring, moving into summer. To grow, to be nourished by the light, the warmth, to stretch and move. How over this wintering season we've been dormant, we've hibernated, we've drawn on our resources, we've pruned. Perhaps looked like not much is going on, and now we've moved into spring. And the potential this holds for us. How necessary this dormancy and hibernation was for our own growth, to sit with ourselves as we are. And just taking a moment to consider what you'd like to invite in for this spring season. More of this and less of that. And letting it go. Narrowing your awareness to your breath, breathing in and breathing out. And expanding your awareness of the breath to include all of your body. Your breath and your body are always there to anchor you in the present moment. Your body can be nothing but present. And just resting in stillness for a few moments longer, I'm going to read a poem I've read many times by Portia Nelson. Autobiography in 5 chapters. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. So moving and stretching in whatever way you ignored from that practice. I'm going to move into taking tea. And today, it's very high up, I'm serving you a jasmine tea. It's been hanging around for years, I think, in this house. It's still delicious. So bringing your awareness to the sounds and movements and smells of your own teas, or perhaps you're only having this tea, maybe your memory is reminding you of what jasmine tea smells like, how your thoughts can fill in some of the gaps. So we're going to move into a space to reflect on our experience of that practice. And for those of you practicing in your own time, an invitation to journal or reflect over what came up for you. What habits did you notice? And this invitation to be considering, how is this helpful? Is it still necessary? Is it kind? How is this serving me? So taking maybe 5 minutes to yourself for that. What did you notice? So something to take with you over the next week of thinking of the mental space and what's going on up there. Taking a moment to see if your thoughts are helpful, they're kind, if they're necessary, what's serving you, what isn't, what's an old habit. And it's not necessarily about changing anything. It's just noticing. Like with the poem, there's holes in the sidewalk, and sometimes we're deliberately walking into them. We can go down other streets and find new holes to fall in. But yeah, that's another story. So let's just take a moment to bring the practice to a close by settling back into the body, checking in with your posture, and then narrowing your attention to your breath. Extending that out breath. And then expanding your awareness of the breath to include all of the body. And just taking a moment to think about what your body needs for you to do next. What does it need? Does it need to stretch? Does it need to go for a walk? Does it need to sit outside? Does it need for you to take your socks off and go for a walk in the grass? Some moisturizer on, have a drink of water. Are there any unmet needs for your body? That in taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your health and your well-being and of those around you. So, as best you can, taking this sense of connection and awareness into whatever you have left to do with your day. Thank you so much for joining me. And if anything has come up, please do reach out.